So I'm on my way to go look at the construction that's beginning on a historical house in Sanford, Florida. Sanford, Florida is an old city, and there's some houses here that go back over 150 years. This one is about 100 and almost 110 years old, and it's in the historic district, so it requires a special type of work to be done on the exterior, and it has a special type of inspections. Basically, it has to pass the Historical Society, which is a whole other schedule above the standard construction schedule that you would normally have in a normal city. So the work has to be done a certain way with certain materials. The problem with this house is that the previous owners who owned the house tried to renovate it themselves. It was an old lady and an old man. The old lady got up on a ladder and got a heat gun to try to take some of the wallpaper off and cause the fire. The fire basically burnt up the corner of the home. Of course, the house was abandoned and the corner was fixed up by the previous owners. I believe the city of Sanford, which is who I bought the house from, ended up having to do some structural work. So that most of that work is done, but all of the facade and the roof and all that has to be done, including, of course, the interior. So we're on our way to go look at it and take a look at the roofers. What I had to do, because of the status of the historical status and the extra scrutiny that the house is going to go under, we're entering rainy season here in Florida, so I needed to make sure first and foremost that I secure the house from any more damage. And of course the roof, if it's needed, is one of the first things that you need to do in order to secure the house. And so I was able to get a permit, or I was able to get the roofers to pull a permit to do the home, even though the house has a considerable amount of other construction that needs to happen. Because normally what you would do is you would go into a home, get a contractor or a group of contractors to pull a permit, and then they would be in charge of pretty much all of the construction, and all of the subcontractors that have their own trade permits would be in charge of their own trades. But what would end up happening is that they would pull it under the building permit of the home. Because we're entering the rainy season, it was important that I get the house secured from any more water damage. So we got the city to allow us to pull the permit for the roof as a separate independent permit. I have my drawings in review right now, and actually no, I have the drawings that I submitted. They're going to go for review here shortly. And then while that's happening, because that takes a couple of weeks, depending on, now with the COVID-19 thing, it takes longer for everything to happen. But regardless, while that's being looked over and reviewed, I'm getting the roof done so that the roof can then be secured and not leak anymore. And then the next steps would, of course, be for me to start the rest of the building project. So we're going to go take a look. All right, so here I am at the project site. And as you can see, they're all working. Got a crew of contractors, primarily the roofer guys over here working on the property. And as you can see, it's still raining, but it's a break in the torrential downpour that we just had. But it is still raining. And this house doesn't look like much, but when it's finished, you probably won't believe the transformation that's going to happen to this over 100-year-old house. But these guys just started, but we're still looking at a completion date for the entire roof, both the roof over the deck and the main house, as well as over to the garage over there, detached garage. All that shit should be done by maybe tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest. Today's Monday. Also wanted to show you real quick where we are. As you can see, like I was talking before about the special commercial zoning, you can see that behind me, which is north of me, is the commercial area, which has a gas station and some retail stores, things like that. But then on the south side of this street, this is 3rd Street, on the south side of the street, you can see that it's all residential. I mean, there are some commercial buildings over there, as you can see, but primarily it's residential from here down. It's all residential. So So this is a special place to be. This is actually very special because I can choose to do commercial here, or I can choose to do with limitations, of course, and I can choose residential with limitations as well. So that's what the house looks like, and this is the roofing installment.